Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. It's time to see what Alizé is up to. So, let's dive on in. Alright, we are live. Now I just need to remember where the quest is.
Inside the
Ah. Oh, I just noticed that the portal over to the sick room is now available for us to just go into now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, greetings. Come to look in on our friends. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use up their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we? Well, that would explain why it's there, because we're about to have to go in there.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahatir at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the First. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting. I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
When I set out to save Ulrich, I think Gabu was always in the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted are not
done in there?
I'm accepting the next quest. But I'll be out in a minute.
Okay.
And having proved that the light corrupted are not lost.
I can't hear any reading, so.
Yeah, when we go through the sequences that are voiced over. It's difficult to know whether I should read the stuff that isn't, because I don't know where you guys are. But if you are at the point now, I'm just starting this, so I can read this. When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always in the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I am convinced the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the aether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though that the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alize, and it warrants full investigation. If there is any chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Beg Luke would remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but one of their ancient counterparts. I know the Alligans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we see is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Aetherochemical Research Facility, where they experimented on primals and their worshippers. Yes, good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Azishla, which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Maybe at the northern bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. One objection to I have to one of the statements in there is when Lise came in and they said, "Oh, I guess Kryl may not even know this." But Kryl says, "I just assume all Archons are acquainted." Well, Lise isn't an Archon and never was. It was her sister that was the Archon.
You're following someone else, Sora.
Was there another 8-foot-tall dragon man?
Yes. In black.
What's a good thing I'm wearing green?
Okay. Dark colors then. It's fine. I was thinking, I'm like, why are we going this way?
I'm trying to remember where the exit is.
Up and out.
Tree. Another tree. That's usually me when I fly.
Well, so much of Revenant's Toll seems to be underground. Or, you fly up there and they say you can't go any higher.
Yeah, some of those mountains you can't go over. Wait, she's a captain?
It's pink.
Her outfit's changed too.
Captain of her own ship.
I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with the help from our friends at the Rising Stones, and named her for luck and prosperity. Tartar, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship, I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin keeper. I'd also introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't quite go as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. I was expecting Wedge, or Biggs, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
whichever one is the Lalafell. I guess that would be Biggs.
Yeah.
The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azishla. But enough talk. It's time to fly. All aboard. And I guess Lys must have been very important in the future that Grahatia comes from. Since he seemed kind of,
Awestruck?
yeah. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tartaru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azishla, and Alphinaud's report did not do the scale of this place justice. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azishla, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an aetherite, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. And here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Ah, there we are. Iconic Corruption. An overview. Well, that sounds promising. Indeed. Let us see what this report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. What? No. Is there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is, where to look? It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it's a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters at the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details that Habisphere controlled. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship, then. We'll see you at the Habisphere. I guess canonically we have an angry dragon who's happy to fly us around here. Speaking of angry dragon guy, he hasn't shown up in quite a while, has he?
No.
Mm-mm.
We also got those cutters, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Fighting the dragons, yeah. Around the same time. It's kind of a bulky mount for only one person, but anyway.
Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about bulky mounts, I can get the lunar whale back out.
Yeah, but you hold, what, 8 people in that?
Indeed. That means it's roomy.
Mm-hmm.
If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There. From what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. An evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the hemisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging. Oh, surely there must be some way to gain access. Force, for example. Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through the yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant aether throughout the continent. You seem to recall. Are you honestly telling me that this was in the records too? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected aether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfere with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much Allagan knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, 'tis more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the beta quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the aether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off. Which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be an honor to come in third.
He's cute.
Indeed. And it would seem we gave them a head start. I almost feel sorry for that level 59 mob that decided to run over here and interfere.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo! That was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. Oh, this sounds familiar. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations. The lightning shard is yours. I'm going with option 2, because I seem to remember this guy. Oh, it was Grahatia. You remember that? In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you had better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you for bringing me here. Okay, I remember having someone talking to us like that, but I didn't remember it being Grahatia.
Yeah, it was just the first part of the Crystal Tower stuff. We were looking for something and he was showing up.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Left.
Oh, I have another quest here. I was following its pointer instead. I bet it's the quest to unlock one of the containment bays, but I don't know.
Unwanted truth.
Yeah,
yes.
I have that one. Yeah.
Here's Alice had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from him, and not only about the secrets of adventuring. But come, we should attend to our mission. I'm going to blame the Echo, Alice. We subconsciously know where to look because in our minds, without even thinking about it, we looked everywhere else.
Right.
Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Hemisphere. Only one obstacle remains: the security system within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes. But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. I was wondering why he couldn't just order the evacuation down, since he's, basically the Emperor of Alag now, but... Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. It would be funny if they actually had us passing the time playing Triple Triad or something.
I know, right?
I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but icon corruption and overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of Aether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alpha Nodes was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlian's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, AlphaNode was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young AlphaNode. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Allagan civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the students of Baldessian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Initializing. Scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. Never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Nune said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption. An overview. The report is locked by author. Please state password. Well, go on then, Your Highness. Tell the nice node the password. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Glory be to Allag. Yeah, I expected that to be wrong. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come on, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance...
Owen.
Password. It is just about the most common password. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that thing just call me? Oh. I love how they let us throw that out from time to time for no reason. I'm gonna do it. Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated.
Did you go Wild Rose?
Yes, I did.
Courage had the same result.
Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be so hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it's them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. It would be interesting to know wherever Sid sets up his actual base.
Well, for a while it was right there in where
True.
we just came from.
True. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you, my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone, but come on, let's be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we?
Yeah, quickly, handmaiden.
And Alice yeets KJ into the abyss.
Whatever. Doma, right?
Not Doma, but you went us to the right place anyway.
Oh, we almost went to Doma. They're both at the bottom.
Wonderful news. Tartaru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryl? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Dolmen allies, the War of Succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Third Legion. A legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears to have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus? Aren't they the ones who took in Yatsuyu and Asahai? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict. And so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect that they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Meanwhile, their intent, or whatever their intent, that is not a problem easily solved. The Laminsons in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphanode and Ishtola have been called upon to aid them. You mean Ishtola went over there to yell at the Admiral some more? Okay, I'll take that. So long as we're dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable at Dawn's Respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Oh, so the sick room is now the lounge, I guess. Okay. I clicked on the archive node before I clicked the destination, and it said, "Warning, His Highness is exhibiting higher blood pressure." Did. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something? What is it? Well then, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to the terminal and set it to work right away. Brute force password cracking.
I wonder how fast that is, like the processing speed.
As fast as magic.
There you go.
Ah, looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Huh. Short and simple, just like I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, my lady. You may take our nodes, but you'll never take our freedom. Node. Open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the aether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of example, exposure to the aether of the fiend Sephiroth would cause the subject's aether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to the elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged, or stagnant, during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom would come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, due to the corrupted becoming worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day someone will undertake and do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So not even the Allegans were able to find a cure. Or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True. Yet were we to simply reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining in its thrall. Going with option 1. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Though thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith, which would have come to dominate the individual's thoughts. Let's see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident that you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism. And I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis of a cure. But perhaps it's better if we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have a reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. Which leads me to believe that there may be a way of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different than how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted this report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Luckily we have you to help, eh? Right. While Grahatia and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust you and Alize with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Really, Sid? You're just sending me to pick up a package? Okay. Take them to Sky Steel Manufacturing in Ishgard, the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. I approve of Sid's mindset when it comes to finding out an alternate version of him discovered how to do time travel. So I already figured that out. I don't need to do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta use another one.
I thought your trip to Foundation was free, KJ.
No, I changed it because I got tired of, excuse me, dying and going all the way back to Foundation, and then
Okay.
having to leave the damn place. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. If I die, I end up in Revenant's Toll. So, I try to avoid dying.
Well, me too, but when I'm out farming and stuff, and then I just get jacked, like they don't even. Yeah, not cool. One of the sky thing, right?
Yep. Not really necessary to take the teleport. It's just as fast to run, but...
I probably should have because my load screens are taking longer.
You stand in the Sky Steel Manufactory. What is it you require? So, you were after Cerulean. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Now, from here, we'll want to use the teleport.
Why can't I find the sky thing?
You want to go to the Astrologium. Cerulean, you've come to the right man. Fair warning, though, the price has shot up on the account of uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. I've got a piece of paper that says Sid's paying for it. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem. It's as good as gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
Damn.
Indeed. Alize looks depressed or worn out.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much?
Yeah.
Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it.
It helps being friend with a king.
And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Of course, she's counting it all.
Ah, yeah.
It's been a while, hero. Oh, you seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
It's been so long since I heard Sid's voice, I thought he had a new voice actor and had to look it up. But no, it's still the same guy.
Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There! I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
At long last, we have our cure. In theory, at any rate. We cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof, but I am quite confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. I'm going with option 2. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado, then let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gabu waiting long enough.
Was there somewhere else besides just the main one, or?
Hmm?
Oh, never mind.
Haven't been in Limsa in ages. Possibly since the last time we came to see Gabu.
We just want to get out of here, don't we?
You want to go to the aft castle.
Oh, that's right. They moved him in there, huh? Or with the... what the hell they called?
Yeah,
Marauders?
the Maelstrom is keeping an eye on him. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Well, This is the moment of truth. I'll have our hosts bring Gabu to us at once.
Apologies for the wait. Gabu, have you been good? Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment? Using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Ah, nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I for one would be glad to assist.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission then, let us begin. Yes, this will do. And now, it's my turn. Tis done.
No small amount indeed.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allegans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Alize. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't. 'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Zora, when you appeared and your minion appeared right behind you, I thought for some reason Alice's pig had come with us.
No, you're supposed to go too.
It does have the same coloring, sort of.
Well, this seems as good a spot to rest as any. Well, you know you're tired if the spot where you have to be standing is the good spot to rest.
Yeah.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Alize refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion. I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire. Alize, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Alize's and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Alize. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Alize was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gaboo, but the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Alize. Thank you.
And I was just examining the sunny sky as it turned to rain. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first. But this seems as good a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave.
Where's that again?
Idleyshire.
lovely skies.
I have no idea why I find the map of Idleyshire so difficult to traverse.
Well, they got a Y in the road right here. I mean,
Well, I mean, I come here fairly often, and I always go the wrong direction. I know exactly where I'm intending to go, but I always go the wrong direction anyway. I take it you are ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil? Very well.
Nary a word from you all this time, then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I am told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away. And for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatir is my name, and I'm proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day. So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxes with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were. Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
Alright, off to my old workshop then. Everything is required to make your familiar is there. That may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what has become of it. Oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars, and mayhap a monster or two, but nothing to trouble the likes of you. You could consider cleaning up the place payment for my help. Fine, we'll do it. Good girl. Now, if there are no other objections, I suggest you run along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my porogos to help you ahead of you to let you get into the workshop. You need only tell him who you are. One can't be too careful after all. Off you go. And Istola would very much appreciate if we would go and do this while she has a word with Alpha Node about running his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that is the first time that I am aware of Galuf being mentioned. I have now looked him up, and apparently he was mentioned in A Realm Reborn, but we may not have noticed it. Galuf is the head of the Students of Baldessian. And also, apparently, Kryle's adopted father. Which is why Kryle is Kryle Baldessian. But also, I mentioned that Kryle is the name of a character from Final Fantasy V. Well, in Final Fantasy V, her grandfather's name is Galuf. So, another Final Fantasy V reference.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'd ever noticed the magical shield around Alexander here.
I've bumped into it several times.
Yeah.
Ah.
When I was out here mining, I tried to get across, and I was like, what? And it was like, dee, 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 dee. All the way around.
Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relict. Pororogo is my name, and I am honored to be your guide. Pororogo the Unwashed. Within, you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern, wherein the requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, in over 15 years, and will, I regret, be in some disarray. But rest assured, my brothers and I shall see to it that you do not lose your way. Now then, Ribbit, only say the word and I will show you in. Are we ready?
Yes.
Interesting music.
Haunted mansion, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Porogos say, or you'll wish you had.
Oh, it's a remix of another Final Fantasy song. The clay can be had in the Claycott Cauldron through this portal. Okay? Please follow me. Put down any pests that bar the way. Yeah, I'm liking the look of it so far, too.
That is a very large rock for that spriggan.
Indeed. And my camera was zoomed in close enough that I couldn't even see him up there. I just thought I was fighting a floating rock. I'm wondering who Ziggy is, though. Did we fight a spriggan named Ziggy at some point?
I don't know.
Okay. The key mechanic of this fight is the balls of mud you need to aim into the corners of the room. Make sure that when you are tethered to a ball, you line yourself up so that the ball shoots through you and into a hole in one of the corners of the room. Keep your eye out for little mud men inside the holes. If you see one, make sure you aim away from that one, as it won't get rid of your ball and you'll continue to take damage from it. Alright, his abilities are... my chat says we fought Ziggy in the Anti-Tower back in Heavensward. Okay. And his abilities are Hard Rock is a tank buster ability, healers prepare, and tank pop some cooldowns. Petrified Peat is a basic targeted AoE, split up and don't overlap the hitboxes. They will leave mud balls on the battlefield. Peat Pelt will tether you to the balls left on the field. Position yourself so that the balls will shoot through you and into one of the holes at the edges of the battlefield. Do not aim towards a hole that has a little mudman in it. And Battle Breccia is an inverted cone attack. Stand directly in front of the mudman or far enough away to avoid damage. And Falling Rock is a stacking indicator ability. Make sure you group up to share the damage. So we have a stacking thing. When balls get tethered at you, make sure you point them into one of these holes that does not have a little mudman in it. And other than that, basically stay out of the things.
When you say tether, that means they're gonna follow you, right?
Right.
So how do we point them in the or drag them?
I think you just need to go in front of the hole, maybe, and then at one point it's going to roll at you and go through you.
Yeah. If it's tethered, that means you'll probably be pulling it after you. So just make sure you have the line between you and it pointed at the hole.
Gotcha.
And it's about to be balls of mud, I believe.
Okay, this time has a mudman. I was looking for the mudman on the last one, but there's two
Ah.
of them, actually. There's only 2 holes available.
Hey. Ah, yeah, I see him.
Oh, do I keep missing the one thing?
There's no way to avoid Stone Age.
Okay.
They haven't done the stack one yet.
Oh, okay, because that's what I kept thinking that was.
And I will say the guy didn't mention the Stone Age either, so. Alright, I failed with my ball there. I'm about to get this one over here. There's the stack marker.
I like that fight.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
This seems like this has the potential to do different bosses, like a Robin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would like it noted that the frog said to stay close to him, but then he didn't stop when the mobs happened, so...
Yeah.
No, he did wait right there for us, though.
That was nice.
Alright. The key mechanic of this fight is watching the sides of the room to the water pipes and standing where the water will not hit, as well as making sure you jump into one of the water spouts that will shoot you up to the cloud where Nixie is singing during the Singing in the Rain phase. If you can do these two things, you'll be good as gold. So we have Smash Crash is a spell that will create 4 moving tethers that will follow the single target. Do not stand in these tethers, as a wind attack will follow. The target will take moderate damage, so be ready. Shower Power, a tether indicator, will point you in the direction you need to look. Stand in line with the non-glowing pipe to avoid the water blast. Singing in the Rain does not have a cast bar, but Nixie will float away and create a cloud she stands on. Water spouts will form around the room, and you'll need to stand in the one closest to the cloud to join her on the platform. All players who do not make it up will be killed by a water nova attack. And there's an unnamed AoE target, is a basic targeted group AoE. Just don't stand near each other to avoid excess damage. And unnamed water spouts will just form around the room, as they did in the Singing in the Rain. Avoid these not to get stuck in the place and get hit with the other attacks. So, there are the pipes there on the side. So there's 4 of them on each side. We will need to stand in front of the one that is not glowing during the shower power phase. And during the Singing in the Rain phase, you need to give them the closest water spout to where she is so you can bounce up there. Do not stand in the tethers. Over here. Get out of the way of the pipes.
That's the Death Nova, apparently.
Uh-huh. Got more pipes to pay attention to. More pipes.
Oh man, I was too close.
Oh, I was too close. like that fight too.
Indeed.
Ooh.
Indeed.
I kind of
Looks
like it.
dangerous, but it's pretty.
Rainbow lava. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to come back and do that at some point. My chat says if you run this dungeon using the trust system and bring Ishtola with you, she has things to say.
seemed anticlimactic.
Well, that's because in this game, all dungeons have 3 bosses.
Yeah.
Right then. Let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
Alright. The key mechanics in this fight involve running against the wind immediately as you dodge incoming AoEs. Otherwise, you'll fall into a kill zone. And making sure when you see the room-wide wind arrows with the circle safe zone in the middle of the room, you're standing close to Mother Porksy, as she'll blow you back before detonating the room-wide AoE that does massive damage. So I guess you want to be standing near her so she knocks you into the safe zone? I'm not sure. Okay, Tenderloin is a room-wide AoE spell that does moderate damage. Healers be ready to AoE heal after it's cast. Huff and Puff, room-wide gust combined with room-wide devastating AoE. Stand close to Porksy, not in the safe zone circle, as she'll blow you back into the safe zone before immediately detonating the room-wide AoE. Meat Mallet is a targeted impact zone ability, which will indicate a direction you will need to run away from. Don't stop running away, as she'll begin to suck you into a death zone and throw things at you. No abilities are active during this time frame, so you need to continue holding away from the boss in order to not die. That is Meat Mallet, once again. Hidden Huff and Puff is exactly like Huff and Puff, only you do not get the usual visual cues at ground level. Instead, a wind sprite will be summoned, which will explode when killed and shoot the party over the haze in the room, revealing Mother Porksy. You will have to deduce her location based upon the wind current indicator at the apex of the launch when the sprite dies. Mother Porksy will reappear just a moment or so before the attack finally finishes charging. So we will need to, when we get knocked up in the air, we'll need to see where she is and get between her and the safe zone so she can knock us back into the safe zone. And Open Flame is a basic targeted AoE. Don't overlap with your friends to avoid excess damage. And Minced Meat is the Tank Buster single target spell. Cooldowns and healing at the ready. Alright, come stand over here. Here comes Meat Mallet. I think we need to run away from her. Kill the sprite and be on the lookout for where she is. Okay, they follow me. That sounded worse than it was.
It did sound a lot worse.
It was fun. I actually like the one where you stand in front of her and she pushes you back. That one's kind of fun.
Okay, I like that everybody comes running up except Matoya, who is old and moves slow. Alas, the pet did not drop.
Oh, does a Porksy pet drop?
It's actually a Nixie pet, the second boss.
Oh, that's a cute one.
There we are. Quite tame.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more.
Not gonna help this time, Istola?
I was thinking we could help too, but apparently not.
I'm gonna go with we might blow out his aether circuits or something.
Too strong, too strong.
That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some porksies. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say. Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the Mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone. We're a step closer to our goal.
Distributed amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Laminsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
In addition to the Porksies, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age?
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with the Shtola. They are as peas in the pod, are they not? Alphino, do you want to die? I mean...
Yeah, he's asking for it.
Well then, my friends, let us return to Limsa Laminsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in the Bulwark Hall should be sufficient to secure us an audience. The guy's just over here. It's probably been close to 2x packs since we've had to talk to this guy, but yeah. Ever a welcome sight. Tidings for the Admiral, you say? She is presently receiving guests, but for the Scions, I know she will make an exception. Follow me. The leader of the Sahagin has a very impressive hat. Or shell. I guess it's actually a crab claw. But my friends, what brings you here this day? Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering? As often as I've been in awe of you Scions, I would not have thought it possible. And it is, Admiral. We have done it. Here in Limsa. And production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks. Truly, this will do much to advance the cause of peace. Yet, I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beastman. Ah, even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. For though summoning and the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. It was I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7th century past, we Laminsans have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahagin for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen, and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbren than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. Aye, acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the 3 pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. I'm given to understand that their leader, Captain Hilfer, has been bedridden for some while with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads, a man named Sickard, who recently risen to prominence among their ranks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We've invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned naught of any value. Went with option 1. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever this Sickard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn, then. Good luck. Is this going to be a return to Revenant's Toll and speak with Rial? So he seems like the guy to call in on this.
Yeah.
By way of a first step, I suggest we split up and make inquiries around town. Someone must know this Sickard. If you can approach the pirates, the rest of us will seek out merchants and adventurers. Yes, go see the pirates because you're the scary one. Looks like we need to head upstairs, so let's see where. Aft Castle is the closest.
Wait, where'd you go?
South.
Oh, you went. I didn't go far enough over here.
Eh? You want to know about Sickard? A wily bugger is what he is. Found some clever way to make coin, they say, and traded it for the Moonskate's place at the Hilford's side. There was a time we raced the executioners for our pick of the Empire's fleet, but the Garleans are gone, and them days with them. Owing to which we've had to look for other ways to make ends meet, with that jumped-up bilge-rat Sickard landing the juiciest, whatever it may be. Not that we sirens are struggling, mind. We do well enough guarding fishing boats from the fishbacks and other beasties. Get the first pick of produce for our trouble. Quality stuff at a bargain price. This we pass to our sisters, as we can't sail on account of getting old or wounded or with child, and they cook it up and sell it for a pretty profit. Simple. I miss the old ways, don't get me wrong, but when I see the girls with their little ones, I think to myself, a life of peace and quiet ain't all that bad. That told us nothing about Sickard. Other than that he is a wily bugger.
I have a feeling we're going to go talk to her crush. Have you done the what is it? Culinary quests?
I
She crushed.
I am a level 2 culinarian.
You're a little ways off.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we're going to go talk to him. He's from Ishgard.
Oh, isn't this the guy who sailed us across the sea?
Yep.
Okay. Curious about Sickard, are you? As am I, my friend. As am I. Sadly, I know nothing of the man, save that the bloody executioners experienced a marked improvement in their fortunes after his promotion. Quite how he achieved this is a matter of some debate. As you know, the Thalocracy permits us to attack only Garlean vessels, yet these have all but vanished from the sea since the Empire turned upon itself. In order to adapt, we Krakens have taken to trading with the East, but the executioners are less forward-looking. I cannot imagine they would willingly abandon the old ways. So how, then, are they lining their coffers? Whatever their secret, they are not like to share it with their rivals. But mayhap you will have more luck.
Well, if you played a rogue, those other guys were kidnapping people and selling them.
That reminds me, has anyone leveled a Lancer to the point that you have become a Dragoon?
No. I'm 25,
No.
but I'm getting there.
Well, once on the quest where you become a Dragoon, apparently the core of the Dragoon quest line is tracking down Estinian. Because he's not where he's supposed to be, according to Ishgard. So that's why Dragoons know Estinian before anybody else does.
Where are we going? The Bulwark?
Apparently, yes. I just followed Emo and Zora.
I was trying, but then I wasn't sure if they went to the airstrip.
Gotcha. I see everyone has returned. Now, who would like to go first? So just as their imperial prey began to disappear, Sigurd turned the executioner's fortunes around with a mysterious new source of income. Whatever it is, it's nothing to scoff at. According to a tavern keeper I spoke to, the crew have been indulging themselves as never before, but no amount of drink seems to loosen their tongues as to how they're coming by their coin. For my part, I spoke with a reporter from the Harvard Herald. The publication has been investigating the secret of the executioner's good fortune and making little headway. Plainly, the executioners do not wish the nature of their business to be made public. And I think I may know why. In the course of making inquiries on Hawker's Alley, an interesting fact came to light. Just as the executioners began to enjoy better fortunes, the price of crystal went into sharp decline. A sudden fall in demand, I was told. Curious, I contacted Hoary Boulder, who has been watching the movements of the beast tribes, and my suspicions were proven correct. Despite ever-worsening relationships between the beast tribes and the Thalocracy, neither Titan nor Leviathan have made an appearance of late, suggesting that the kobolds and the Sahagin lack the means with which to summon them. You mean to say the executioners are divesting them of their crystals? All indications point to that conclusion, yes. Though we have no hard evidence as yet, we must investigate further. Agreed. So how do we proceed? I have an idea about that. In fact, I have already taken the liberty of making certain provisions. During my inquiries, a disgruntled merchant informed me that a wholesaler of crystals had recently arrived in Limsa Lominsa, offering wares at prices far undercutting the competition. After asking around, I was able to gain an introduction, and will shortly pose as a potential buyer in a bid to establish the crystal's provenance. The man is due to be in Oshiran's Embrace in Lower Leoniskia shortly. I suggest we make our way there at once. Alpha, no, would you like me to go contact Tartaru? We haven't we learned not to let you do any kind of business negotiations?
Yeah. Do we want to go to the dry dock and then just go backwards, or?
Yes.
Congrats me.
Oh, you're 90?
Oh yeah, you are. Congrats.
I got a new thing and I don't know where to put it.
How about a new button?
Yeah. It's my already over cramped buttons. I guess I can drop one of the potions. Not like I actually ever run out of MP.
Potions? What are potions?
Hey, I go through them a lot. That's how I don't die.
No comment.
Yet still you do.
Yes, but less. How's that?
Yeah, it's all good.
That appears to be our merchant. Wish me luck. Wait, if he truly is in the league with the bloody executioners, he will surely be wary of those allied to the Admiral. The Scions not least of all. Compared to yours, my face is an unfamiliar face. Let me play the role of buyer. Graha is right. And even if you aren't recognized on sight, you look too genteel to be mixing with society's underbelly. Genteel? Very well, I'll leave it to you, Graha. Got business with me, cat boy? Ahem. You're the crystal wholesaler? That I am, but you're no merchant. What do you want crystals for? Don't look at us, you idiot. You'll give yourself away. Oh, I see. You're a weaponsmith, am I right? And you need crystals to make staves like that fine specimen you've got there. Sure, that makes sense. That's right. I am indeed a weaponsmith, and I use naught but the finest materials. Would you show me your wares? Well, you don't invite just anybody into our storehouses. It takes time to establish trust, you understand. Look, I have a large and urgent commission. If the quality is satisfactory, I will not quibble over the price. Alright, it's plain that's no ordinary crystal adorning your staff, so I'll make an exception. Come with me. Merchant not good at job.
Mm-hmm.
Giving a thumbs up.
It seems to be working. Let's follow them.
I'm hurrying, I'm hurrying. Don't let them get away.
If we lose them, it is your fault.
What's that?
If we lose them, it is your fault.
Whatever. We lose them, it's because we're flying up in the sky in a big black dot and they can spot us. I didn't see anybody whose spellcasters put invisibility on us.
How often do Lalafels look up?
Hey, all the time. Birds are tricky. You gotta be careful.
That's a good point. They went into that tunnel. Quietly now. Won't find any finer, especially not for the price. Indeed, I would expect to pay more than double for such quality. How could they possibly be so cheap? There's nothing unlawful about them, if that's your worry. They're from Ogrimmar, if you take my meaning. Stuff's as pure as it gets. You won't be disappointed. So, how much do you want? Ogormo, taken from the kobolds, just as we suspected. That's enough. Shut your gobs and turn around, slowly. This guy has the look of a sickard about him. I don't think you have enough goons, though. Yeah. I'm Sickard, acting captain of the Bloody Executioners. No need to introduce yourselves. We know who you are, scions. And we also know you've been chatting to the Admiral. Got eyes and ears everywhere, see? Comes with being the only true pirate crew left in Limsa. So we've established you ain't here to buy crystals. The question is, what are you here for? You're bold to reveal yourself to us without knowing our objective. But that would explain your swift rise to power. You have spoken plain, so I shall return the favor. We came here to learn why the Bloody Executioners oppose the Admiral's will. And we have our answer. Should Limsa make peace with the kobolds, you would lose the source of your newfound wealth. That's right. Just to remind you, though, we ain't breaking any rules here. The law forbids us from attacking any vessel not flying the Imperial flag, but it doesn't say anything about beastmen. Only reason we keep our operation nice and quiet is because we don't want no one taking our business. Wait, just listen to the end, will you? For what it's worth, I have the highest respect for you and yours. Him especially. While the Maelstrom were worrying about dirtying their fancy red clobber, you lot stormed Ugamaro and beat and battered Bleeding Titan himself. Raised a mug to you when I heard the news. And now we're following in your footsteps, making sure the beastmen never summon their stinking gods again. Practically your successors we are. When there were still Imperial ships about, we did our bit for Limsa and went after 'em. But with the Garleans gone, there's no one left to ply our trade on except the beastmen. So, let us have that, eh? It's only fair. Contentious though some may find your views, it is true that you have broken no laws. That being so, I see no reason why you should not state your case directly to the Admiral's face. Unless the acting captain of the only true pirate crew left in Limsa Lominsa has some other cause to hide in a cave. Well said indeed. Alright, I'll meet with the Admiral. I'll even provide the venue. The Astalicia. I trust she won't turn down the invitation. Is that the fishing boat?
I can't remember the name of it.
Everybody ready for attempted assassinations?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or kidnapping. Same difference.
True. I thought myself the hunter, but it turns out I was the prey. A timely reminder that the pirate powers of Limsa Lominsa are not to be trifled with. Psst, you wouldn't let me trifle with them, Alpha Node. But all's well that ends well. Gratia's timely provocation had the desired effect, and Sigurd has agreed to a meeting. Let us hurry back to Limsa Lominsa and pass on his invitation to the Admiral. Welcome back, my friends. What news? So, they've been stealing crystals from the kobolds. My thanks for solving the mystery, and securing a meeting besides. Suffice to say, I accept Sigurd's invitation, and I would have you join me as my guests. The future of Limsa hangs upon the outcome of this meeting, and I would have the Scions present to bear witness.
Look who's come crawling!
Traitor! You can shove your piece!
Welcome aboard, Admiral. I'll wager you don't remember me. Sigurd, acting captain of the bloody executioners, at your service.
'Twas kind of you to invite us. Now, if Captain Hilfear has a message for me, I bid you speak it.
We have just the one demand. That you forget this bilge about making peace with the beastmen. Ours is a nation of pirates. Always has been, always will be. Deny us our right to plunder, and you deny who we are.
Too bloody right!
Pirates till we die! What we want, we take!
Piracy has no place in our future.
What'd she say?
Pirates have no place.
Our nation has prospered through piracy, 'tis true. Yet it is but one part of our long and storied history. Centuries ago, our ancestors led a failed rebellion and were driven from their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs. In fear of their lives, they sailed south until they came to these shores. Finding the land occupied by kobolds, however, they were forced to turn to piracy in order to survive. And survive they did. But not so long ago, when the Empire threatened to crush everything we'd built, we set aside piracy and joined hands with our neighbors. This too was in order to survive. And survive we did. Time after time we fought the Empire, and time after time we won. And through trade with our newfound allies, we prospered more than we ever did through pillaging and plundering. The Empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Ere long, Provinces like Wurlit and Bosnia and many others will regain their freedom. When they do, our matchless fleet will lead the world in a new golden age of commerce. The tides favor us, and the ocean beckons with her vast bounty. But if we cling to the old ways, this great ship we call Limsa will trade the boundless seas for a lagoon. Shall we scorn the world's wealth for a plundered pittance, then? Or shall we embrace change and thrive, like our ancestors before us? The choice is yours. But if we are to prosper in the coming age, the whole of Vilbrand must become our ship, and a kobold and Sahagin our crewmates.
Rousing words. Might even be some truth in them. But pirating's all we've ever known. And we ain't about to give it up just 'cause you say so. Still, we're all the Mincins here and no one wants a war. So where does that leave us? Long before you became Admiral, I heard you was captain of the League of Lost Bastards. That true? If so, you'd know how we pirates settle our differences.
A duel. Very well. As Admiral of Limsa Laminsa, I accept your challenge.
She's a bigger target.
You got a bigger gun, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're both shoot double-barreled pistol thing. Almost like a sawed-off shotgun.
This ain't over! Not till one of us is dead! Finish the job! Or I will! It's the captain! Captain Elfair!
Ye fool! 'Twas over afore it began.
Captain!
Seems the whelps have been yapping while their master was abed. Listen well, all of ye. Since the signing of the Galadian Accord, we all of us have been part of the same crew. The crew of the good ship Limsa Laminsa. At the helm of that ship is the Admiral. And 'tis she who decides where we sail. Was I not clear on that point? Or did you forget whose deck you stand on? Nay? Then what in the seven hells are you playing at?
It's all we know, Captain. If we ain't pirates, what are we?
You're bloody idiots is what ye are. Idiots with your own lives ahead of ye.
Ye can do anything ye want. Be anything ye want. We're pirates, aye. And we pirates love our loot. But that ain't our first love. Our first love is the sea. The sea! And what she brings us. Freedom! So hold fast to that. Let the brine-crusted husk that stands before you now be the last of them as knew naught save out of steel. And make of yourselves a new breed of pirate! Lad, I made ye me right hand 'cause I saw something in ye. And I still do. You have the makings of a captain. All you lack's the belief. Well now, it seems we're of one mind after all. Apologies for the misunderstanding, Admiral. We're with ye, wherever ye be headed.
You have my thanks, Hilfir.
Your choice of dueling pistol did not escape my notice. Good old Annihilator. Ender of many a proud pirate's voyage. Mistbeard's vanished into legend, and it won't be long before I take my rest in the depths. Yet be that as it may, the old ways can only truly die when we've dealt the Empire the telling blow. There'll be stormy seas ahead, no doubt. But I'm trusting ye to steer us through to the other side.
Everybody out of the dueling cutscene?
Yes.
Though I had anticipated a duel, I did not foresee that Hilford would intervene. But full glad I am that he did. It would have been a shame to kill the boy. Instead, the whelp has learned a valuable lesson, and we have made peace among ourselves. All that remains is to do likewise with our neighbors. Now, I hardly need to tell you, but any attempt to negotiate with the tribes is doomed to fail, unless their minds can first be wrested from the grip of their gods. And so, in the meeting we seek to arrange with the kobolds, I would have you free their leader of Titan's influence. Leave it to us. We will open his ears to reason. You have my thanks. Ere we proceed, there is something you should know. Some 50 years passed, when the Sahagins swarmed at our hulls in even greater numbers. Limsa entered into a covenant with the kobolds. To men shall go the bounty of the seas, to kobolds shall go the bounty of the land. An ostensibly equitable arrangement, conspicuously lacking in detail. Aye, inadvertently or not, the wording was ambiguous, and we took advantage of it, moving in to claim the northern regions of Lenoskia, which the kobolds believed theirs. Bloodshed followed, then bloodshed to answer the bloodshed, and on it went, until every ilm of Vilbrum bore the stain of the conflict. This is not history, you understand. It is the present, fresh and raw. And with their kindred's blood yet on our hands, we will struggle to regain the kobolds' trust, even should we cure their temper. Admiral, you speak of obstacles we are like to encounter at the meeting. But as things stand, I see no reason why the kobolds would agree to the meeting in the first place. And so we must provide a reason. I will restore their stolen crystals to them, and personally deliver the cargo along with my apologies. Bait. They would welcome us into their midst not to speak of peace, but to have you at their mercy. Aye, and given the wealth of crystals we will bring, I'll wager they will attempt to summon Titan there and then. Meaning a high priest would need to be present, to whom we could administer the cure. Precisely. He is the fish I would catch. But he will not be alone. Nay, he will have guards on hand, and they will lay down their lives to protect him. Yet a single death on the kobold side would jeopardize our chance at peace. And there my venture founders. Yet it need not. What if we were to employ the Conqueror's Chain? Though we would still have to weaken the kobolds, it would allow us to subdue them without inflicting lasting harm. The artifact Mistbeard used to take goods and not life? Aye, that would serve. Well done, Marshal. So, friends, what do you think of our strategy? The effects of tempering are cumulative, and we may safely assume that the High Priest's exposure to primal influence is extensive. It will therefore take a great deal of ether to reverse its effects, not to mention time. Time during which Alisaie would be defenseless. Even should we all look to her protection, I am not convinced we could keep an entire army of kobolds at bay. Well, I'm happy to take the risk. It's not as if we have any choice. Besides, it's what Tesleen would do, and had I not followed her example, we wouldn't even have a cure for tempering, much less the chance to bring peace to Vilbrand. So I'm gonna cure that priest, or die trying. I go with option 1. And I believe in you too. You and everyone. I know you'll keep me safe. It's settled then. See to your preparations and make for Camp Overlook. We will join you there anon.
You said anything about us going?
Well, I'm not going to leave it to a group of pirates to protect Alisaie, so... Alphinaud wasn't lying when he said I'd be defenseless, so I'm counting on you and you all to give me the time I need. Our sole purpose will be to keep you out of harm's way, so leave that to us, and focus on your own task. Indeed, and should you want for ether, you need only say the word. Galbu, did you follow us here? There's something important that I want to say to the High Priest. Express, state, say. Please, let me come with you, please. I'm sorry, but it's too dangerous. I need you to promise me you'll stay here, where it's safe, alright? My apologies for the wait. It took time, but we have secured our audience. All unfolded as expected. At the mention of my returning their crystals in person, the kobolds suddenly remembered how keen they were to be reconciled. And so, in the glorious spirit of cooperation, we are to be received by Patriarch Zada of the Second Order, who awaits our pleasure in the navel. If you are ready, let us proceed to the Unguro mines at once. I suspect that we are about to be in a break group and do a duty thing. And the question will be, do we want to take the time to do that tonight, or do we want to call it for the night and come back tomorrow with that? Of course, I'm still heading over here to confirm that it is actually what I think it is, but...
Yeah.
I don't mind either way.
Yeah, I'm fine either. I hate these mines. They're so twisty and confusing. Oh yeah, we already know.
Yeah. Well, if y'all are fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I should go ahead and disband the party. Well, I've already clicked her, so if any of y'all could disband the party or leave the party, go ahead.
I clicked her too.
Me too.
I wish there was an easy way to exit out of a quest once you've clicked into it.
Well, it didn't let me disband, but let me leave. Disband was grayed out.
Yeah, only the leader can disband.
Ah. I'm just going to click through until I get to the dialogue option, and then I'm going to leave and disband. And then I will read it. This Aetherite will bear us to our quarry. Should he make to summon Titan as I anticipate, we will halt the ceremony and restrain him. At this, all hells will break loose, and we will have an army of kobolds to entertain till Alisay's work is done. Just remember, none must die. We weaken them and let Einzar do the rest. It is time. Stay the course, my friends. I spy calmer waters beyond this squall.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwib Blufistvin, Admiral of Limsa Laminsa. I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alize! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can. We must protect Alize!
You're in my sights.
There!
You're in my sights.
Oh, just what we need. You're not alone. There!
You're in my sights.
Here you are, Alize.
More! I need more ether! Just a little more! Yes, this will do. Here I go. Go, Angela!
Did it work?
What?
What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
No. No, 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 no! Why? Why would I do such a thing?
Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Gaboo! What are you doing here?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen. The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it. And you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already. So please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted! The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact! Violated, breached, broke! Unready as we were, what choice had we but to call upon the Divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None, and I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Laminsons, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt, and any who violate it shall face justice, swift and certain.
No, we won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Lominsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds. And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world, and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastman, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gaboo does. And I will trust him.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet enthralled to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
"'Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
It would seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next, we will help the Second Order to free their tempered brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course, and it will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest, but reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead, I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course not only for Limsa Lominsa, but all of Eorzea.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What, pray tell, is the floating city?
Yeah, I know.
What in the world is that? A tower.
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. Aye. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea. Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert. Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
Well, I guess the floating stuff has always been here. Just never really noticed it.
Yeah.
It might have not always been open to us either.
Well, I still think, I don't think it's open to us now. I think if we fly off in that direction, we'll hit an invisible wall. But yeah, this is as far as I can go. And yeah, according to my chat, it's always been there. It's just never really been mentioned until this point.
Yeah.
But I guess this would probably be a good place to call it for the night. We can go meet up with Lise next time and continue on from there.
Sounds good.
We are at the very end of 5.4, which means tomorrow we'll be heading into 5.5, which is very near the end of Shadowbringers. So we're making progress.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I believe we are going to call it here for the night. And I want to thank y'all for joining me. And we will be back probably tomorrow. So until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me, which I've already said. Until next time, have a great night.